it's like it's social status with some perks. It's like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, social status with tech. You're just you're just creating a fluid market, because we'll stay on the club for a second. The relationship between a VIP host and the guest that's paying, it's just a social contract. At any point, if the relationship goes sour, then they can tell them the fuck off. But if you have that NFT, that's basically your ticket, that's verified through a smart contract. Now you can prove it, but then you could also sell it to anybody, and then the casino can win as well, or the host. Let's say Omnia and the host create a contract where they say this NFT represents this specific table at the nightclub this day of the week. And now the host gets 1% every time it's sold, and the club gets 3% on the royalties. And so let's say the guest can't go because something came up in life. They could just sell it to somebody else for a higher value, right? Maybe this person thinks that the value of this table for the night is a $10,000 minimum, but then the next person will pay $15,000 because he's richer and doesn't care. Now everyone wins in this situation. It's similar to, I was talking with a nonprofit here. We were talking about integrating NFTs into their nonprofit business, and they do auctions. And the cool thing with nonprofits, and I think this is going to revolutionize nonprofits, is that the money's generally allocated, right? Most people who are donating, it's a tax write-off. You have it allocated different reasons. Let's say you can sell an NFT that becomes a one-of-one experience with the donor. So this place, one of their big donors was Mackenzie Bezos, who was married to Jeff Bezos. How much will somebody pay to have lunch with her, right? Some people may think it's 100,000. Some people may think it's 1 million. So if they go to the auction and it sells, but you had to buy the NFT at the auction you had to be there. Maybe it sells for 50,000 because not everyone's very wealthy. This person, this nonprofit could put a perpetual royalty on it. This person then goes and sells it to Joe Schmo for $500,000 because that person thinks that it's worth $500,000. So now you're letting the free market also dictate what the actual price is.
With the forever royalty.
So then it always goes back to the original distributor of the token.
I'm thinking to my buddy Josh and I, like, what would we pay for an NFT? And I'm big Guns N' Roses fan. He's a huge Pearl Jam fan. Another reason I'm sad
I saw Guns at Allegiant.
Yeah. So did I. Another reason I'm sad I'm going to be in Cabo because he's coming up here to go to the Pearl Jam concert. If Pearl Jam released an NFT that was like, hey, we're going to sell this for $100,000, and any concert we ever have anywhere in the world, just show up, scan your NFT, and you're front row. Like, I think my buddy would pull $100,000 out of his home equity line of credit and buy it, knowing not only is this going to be a world-class experience for him, assuming Eddie Vedder doesn't die, he could sell it in 3 years when he's burnt out on Pearl Jam concerts for probably $150,000, and Pearl Jam gets their 5% royalty again. And it's like, well, we already made our fucking money, and now we're just making more money. And it's really fascinating. Of course, my mind goes to the fraud of like what happens when the Omnia goes out of business or Eddie Vedder dies, and it's like then they have to renege on the value of the NFT. It's like, well, does it just disappear into obscurity, or now do you put it up on the wall and now you have a Van Gogh?
Yeah, that would be interesting because maybe it plays into the pricing of it, right? As Pearl Jam gets older in age, when they're selling it, the person on the other side's like, maybe this is only lasting another 2-3 years. I'm not going to pay $100,000. Used it for 3 years. Maybe I'll give you $70,000 for it.
Right.
Coachella actually did this. They sold a few lifetime Coachella passes. This pass also comes with artist access. I think you get to be in like the booth on the main stage for your entire like life, basically the lifespan of Coachella, and a bunch of other private access. I think it sold for like $100,000.
I feel like I was just going to ask you, what did that sell for? Because I feel like there is some huge arbitrage. Now I'm thinking financially, huge arbitrage here, because let's say you buy that for $100,000, you enjoy Coachella for 2 or 3 years. In 4 years, there's going to be some artist who we don't even know who they are yet, where somebody is willing to pay $500,000 to have a VIP with 20 years from now.
Yeah, Justin Bieber.
Miley Cyrus's daughter is more famous than she is. And it's like some super fans like, oh, this is worth $500,000 to sit on stage when she does her set at Coachella. Like, I feel like if you could attach your cart to the right horse, there's some crazy arbitrage opportunities with the experience, because somebody will always pay buku bucks for an experience.
Yeah, it's the social contract right now because we're so early. There is some sort of like manual transactions and stuff that has to go on the back end. Eventually, everything's going to be automated. So I'll give you a really cool project from a local, Justin Blau. He's a world famous DJ. He's from Las Vegas, DJs all the nightclubs. He's an NFT pioneer. He first started Our Music Festival in LA, which was like the first NFT music festival before NFTs were really popular. He created a music platform called Royal. Royal is still early. Basically, his first song called Worst Case that he put on there, he took 50% of the royalties and issued 333 NFTs against it. And then he owns the other 50%. And if you own, let's say you own, I don't know, half of those 333, if you own 150 of them, 160 of them, then you'll get 25% of royalties forever on that song. Obviously, it's manual now, and the only things tied in is Spotify and Spotify and whatever the other Apple Music. But eventually in the future, it's going to be automated. So let's say when this music royalty systems comes out, the owners of the NFTs will vote, and somebody, let's say a music company comes in and says, I want to use Worst Case in this music video. Here's a proposal. I'll pay 10 ETH to the owners of the NFTs to use the song, and then the people that own it will vote on it, and then the money gets distributed through a smart contract. Like, those are the kind of things that can happen. It's still early, and that's part of the speculation. But also with NFTs, and here's like going even one step further into like the metaverse, which is like a big buzzword. No one really knows what the metaverse means. To participate in this like tokenized metaverse, everything that's non-fungible will be in an NFT. So if in this room, a car is an NFT, I own car NFTs, obviously art NFTs. And so in this tokenized metaverse world, in order to hang a painting on the wall in your metaverse, if this was a podcast room in the metaverse, you'd have to own the NFT to it, right? Or else you can't upload it because it's Web3. It's NFT enabled. And so you'll have to own those NFTs to participate in it. So I have a collection called Ether Lambos, which was like one of the first car NFTs. And to me, only 1,600 of these exist. In a metaverse that's going to have billions of people as like the first car collection, you could take these NFTs, and once people build on it, because crypto is open source, I'll be driving around one of 1,600 of the first ever cars created in this metaverse. That's literally a Lambo. Like, what?
Do you mind if I ask who you bought it for?
How much?
What you bought it for?
2 ETH at the time.
So
it was like
something?
5-6 grand or something like that.
So you have a digital Lambo that's like one of the first car collections, and theoretically, if this plays out the way that we think it could be, there might be a day where a Lambo in the metaverse is worth $300,000.
Yeah, there's land that's sold for millions of dollars. It's obviously speculation, but you think of like the programmability of NFTs versus the physical counterpart to it. So if you have a real Lambo and a NFT Lambo, we call it Web 2 versus Web 3. There's things that are similar. You can buy and sell them. You could loan against them. There's different varieties of you could destroy both of them theoretically, but in different ways. But what you can't do with this Lambo is, with the NFT Lambo, I could hang it up as digital art, right? Because it's a wall. There's no physical limitations in the metaverse, so I can hang it up and have a piece of art. I can build the 3D construct to it and drive it around. I can make it fly. You know, there's all these different things that you could just take your imagination and apply to it that could be possible. And so I could rent it out. I can't duplicate it, but I could commercialize it. And so there's a lot of things that exist in Web 2 that you can apply to Web 3, but then there's things that are only Web 3 that you could do with the NFT counterpart to it.
Well, and the thing is, the real physical Lambo, eventually it's going to depreciate. You're going to crash it. The seals are going to break. The rubber is going to deteriorate. The paint's going to fade. But an NFT is in day one condition forever.
Forever, yeah.